Welcome to Unfold Data Science. My name is Aman and I am a data scientist. In this video, we will continue our learning on LLM for generative AI application development, and we are going to learn three concepts. First, graph RAG, second, corrective RAG, and third, citation. Very important concepts when you are building production ready AI applications. Let's start without any delay. First of all, we will cover what are the challenges with AI powered applications. Then we will see what is graph RAG and CRAG. We will understand how citation helps to AI powered application in controlling hallucination and giving the reference to where from it is giving you the answer. I will show you a very interesting end-to-end project, and I'm going to leave you with some next activities that you can do. So first of all, do you know the basics of RAG or you don't know? For somebody who know the basics of RAG, right? That's fine, but let's revise quickly once. Basically, this is your LLM. And when you ask an LLM, information which is not generic in nature. So let's take an example. So if I ask that, how many leaves are there left for me? Okay, so that's a very particular non-generic information. I want to know how many leaves are left for me, and that data can come from my organization leave database basically. So LLM will not be able to give me that answer. In that kind of scenario, what we do is we embed that knowledge. So you can call it a knowledge source. So I'm calling it KS. KS means knowledge source. Imagine that in this knowledge source, the leave information, my leave records are here. So when I, as a user, go and ask LLM, how many leaves are remaining for me? The first thing that is going to happen is that query is going to look here if it has some context, if it has some information here, and then that information is going to flow to the LLM, and then LLM is going to give you the context aware response or more better response. That's entirely how RAG works. RAG standing for retrieval augmented generation. Now RAG is a very interesting concept, guys, that has changed the landscape of how LLM powered applications work. So I want to draw your attention to two of Unfold Data Science videos. Go to YouTube and search Unfold Data Science RAG. You are going to get a very interesting short here, RAG in 5 steps. Go and watch this. Drop me a comment if you like this. This is a lovely short basically I have made with a lot of thought. And then you can see this AI agents RAG MCP. But more importantly, you should see these two videos. How to build your first RAG app in 10 minutes. Okay. So build your first RAG app in 10 minutes. And second one is building RAG model using LangChain. These two videos, if you see, you will know how RAG applications work. At a very high level, you can think of with LLM, there will be a knowledge source which will help LLM in giving you better responses. That's it. That's what RAG does. Now, what is graph RAG then? We learned what is RAG. What is graph RAG then? So in my leave example, right? In my leave example, I was telling you, I will ask to the LLM how many leaves I have. So what LLM or what RAG system is going to do is, it is going to go to this knowledge base and search keywords leaves, or maybe a semantically richer search. I'm not saying it will be always a word search, maybe a semantically richer search, but it will just go and search something around leaves. Now, there is another way in which this search can happen. Let me try to show you what is that. Suppose someone searches patient and someone searches frequent urination. So I'm just writing some medical terms here, frequent urination. And someone searches high blood sugar. Okay. And someone searches insulin resistance, insulin resistance. Now, if in your knowledge base, right, if somebody searches frequent urination, in normal RAG, what will happen is, as I told you in leaves example, right, it will go and search frequent urination or similar kind of chunks, similar kind of text. However, what happens in graph RAG is the way your chunks is stored. I'm using the word chunks. Chunks is basically, you can think of the pieces of this knowledge source. So let's say there are 100 sentences in this knowledge source. Maybe it can be converted into 300 pieces or 300 chunks. So those are small part of your knowledge source. So when somebody searches frequent urination, how GraphRag will work is, suppose this is called, this is an entity. So I will write here E entity. This is E entity. This is E entity. This is E entity. And then there is a relationship. So what is the relationship is, this is called relationship. And here I will call frequent urination, FU. So this entity is related to this entity with a relationship. Frequent urination. So this relationship name is, for example, has symptom. Frequent urination is related to high blood sugar with a relation called indicates. High blood sugar is related to insulin resistance with a symptom called caused by. Okay. Insulin resistance is related to diabetes or type 2 diabetes, type 2 diabetes with a relationship called leads to, leads to. So whatever you are seeing here, right? This is nothing but two entities are related to each other with a relationship. And this is exactly how GraphRag works. So what will happen in GraphRag is, when you submit a query, so you will submit a query related to one of these entities. Now this entity is related to this entity. This entity is related to this entity. This one related to this one. This one related to this one. So you are going to get a richer context aware response from your RAG. So if you have to break it down into few steps, right? First of all, if user fires a query, what will happen? Fetch entity. So entity means you can think of a name, place, any object, any entity, right? So from the normal English language also you can think of. So what is the entity in the query? So suppose somebody is asking a query about patient. So patient is the entity in the query. Then it will ask neighborhood. Fetch graph neighborhood. So for example, if you're asking about patient, the neighborhood is FU, frequent urination, another entity. So it will go and search. So I will say frequent neighborhood. It will search and then summarize the neighborhood. So basically it will go and look for neighborhood as well. Not only the neighborhood, but neighborhood as well. Okay. And it will summarize all that information that it gets, and then all summary, use all summary to get global context. This is very important here. Global context in addition to local context. So previously in this example, right, leaves example, since you are doing a keyword match or a higher match, semantic match, but you are only getting the local context. But suppose if your knowledge is stored in a graphical form, right, what will happen is you can get something known as a global context, and that is the use of GraphRag. I'm going to show you that in Python, don't worry, but just understand this concept for now. Fine. There are many tools which can implement this GraphRag, but I'm doing it like manual this time in my code. I'm not using any such tool, Neo4j, etc. But just to make it simple and show you, basically manual mm, representation of data. This is the first thing. What is the second thing? The second thing, important thing that we should learn is called corrective RAG. What is the meaning of corrective RAG? Suppose you fire a query here, leaves, and the chunks that is getting match, right? You're not happy with the confidence score. So suppose you are matching a sentence similarity, or you are doing something and you are not happy with the match score basically. So what you do is, what if retriever score is low? So I will say here, if retriever score is low, if retriever score is low. So let's say you will define a number. For example, let's say you will say that if less than 40%, then I'm calling that as a low retriever, low score. What you want to do in that case, if that is the scenario, then what you want to do, then your RAG becomes useless, right? So what you want to do? So that plan for corrective action, plan for corrective action. So what action you want to take? Suppose your RAG system is becoming useless. It's giving you chunks which is not useful at all. Some of the things that you can do, I will just give you some hint here. Some of the things that you can do is, one thing you can do is decompose query into subquery. Decompose query into subquery. So suppose you have written a very long sentence in your query, in your prompt. What you can do is you can decompose it into smaller parts and see if you find some match. That is one thing you can do. Other thing you can do is something known as HYDE, hide. There are many things you can do, but I'm just giving you some information here. Okay, this stands for hypothetical document embedding. Hypothetical document embedding. So what happens in HYDE is it will simply generate an embedding and it will call that as the right embedding, and then it will try to match with the again your knowledge base and see if that is making sense or something closer to that is coming. So basically a hypothetical document will be created that will be said as a right document, right match, but that's not the right match. And again it will go to your knowledge base and it will search what is the right match or what it should do. And the third thing that you can do in CRAG is expand score. What is the meaning of expand score here? Use bigger chunks, add a glossary, try different retriever. So many things you can do, and you can do more things here. I'm trying to just give you some idea of what is corrective RAG. If your retriever score is low, then you do one of these or two of these or three of these. That also I have put in my code. And last the theory bit before we go to the Python, generation and citation. So remember guys, the problem with AI powered apps is sometimes it very smartly fools you. Very smartly it will fool you. Okay. And you will not know also why it is fooling you. If you are doing it for fun, that is all right. But if you are doing it for some sensible application, right, then that's a big problem. What is the objective? So objective is my LLM response should be traceable and there should not be any hallucination. Very important in this category. So for this, what you want to do, you want to use only available, okay, whatever is available in knowledge base, that only you have to use. So if I ask leave, it should only go and search leaves. It should not search holidays. If holiday information is not there in my leave database, it should not fool me by giving me holiday information. And all of you know hallucination is a big problem in the world of LLM powered apps. So no hallucination. Okay. Now I'm trying to show you how we are going to do this. So we can control generation and we can control hallucination and we can gather factual correctness. Factual correctness. These are again, they may ask you an interview. Transparency, transparency, trustworthiness. Okay, because without this, your AI system is not trustworthy if you are giving wrong answers, wrong responses. And then if you are working in banking domain, insurance domain, right? And if you make these kind of mistakes, that will be a big problem. So generation and citation is very important for your compliance as well. Now let me try to show you the app which I have built. So basically I'll go to Python and basically I called it agentic, but I don't want to call it agentic. I want to stop this and save once, and I will close this and I will relaunch the app. Okay, so I just want to change my header. That's it. Streamlit run app.py. So let me show you what is happening in this app. If you see in my code, I'm giving 3 documents here. Just if you can pay attention. One is about RAG overview. Another is about agentic AI, and third is about on-device AI and compact models. These 3 is my knowledge base basically. This is what I'm supplying. Okay, this is my default knowledge base. Remember, one is about RAG, one is about agentic AI, one is about on-device AI. So now this has opened. On the left hand side, if you see, it's called use sample corpus. Sample corpus means these. I can uncheck this and put my corpus, but for now, use sample corpus and build index first. So you can see built indices for 3 chunks. So here I have 3 documents, right? So 3 chunks. Now I am asking, why does RAG improve accuracy? And I have 2 modes here, simple template and OpenAI LLM. So first go with simple template. First thing that you will see is it will give a retrieval confidence. And I was talking you about if we have to implement RAG, we will see what is my retriever confidence. Here my retriever confidence is low. So at the moment retriever confidence is low, what my code will do is it will start looking for corrective RAG plan for corrective action. So as you can see, low confidence detected, corrective plan, decompose, hide, and expand score. I was giving you 3 examples here. Decompose, hide, expand score. Now, to be fair and honest with you, these things I have not implemented in this example, okay? Because basically I want to show you various other things in this example, and it will be kind of overloading you. But just to show you, this is the flow it will go into. I will show you code where it is going into. And then it says, why does RAG improve accuracy? Answer grounded by retrieval context, and then the first one. Then you can see citation. Citation means where from it is giving me answer. Source 1 is my first document, source 2 is my second, and source 3 is my third document. Source 1 score is highest, as you can see here. So it is giving you information from source 1, and that is what how the system is working. So 3 things are happening here. One is it is generating a confidence score. Then it is telling you this is my plan if corrective RAG is active. Then it is telling you this is my answer and these are my scores. Now I want to show you, if I ask something else, then what happens? For example, I will say, how are iPhones made? So if you remember, I have not given any information about iPhones in my knowledge base. So I'm asking, how are iPhones made? Let me search. Retrieval confidence 0, low confidence detected, corrective plan, decompose, hide, expand score. But if you see here, right, it is still giving me some answer. NPUs in modern laptop, but it is a useless answer basically. I don't want this answer. This is a useless answer, right? What I want is, if the system is finding some information, then it should give me. If it is not finding information, then it should tell me, I don't know. And that is what I have done in my OpenAI LLM mode. So if I go to OpenAI LLM mode, right, you will see that the system tells me, I don't know. So retrieval confidence 0, this is the flow, and system simply tells me, I don't know. Okay, ask something else. How are planets moving? It will simply say, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, and ask something about RAG. What is RAG in LLM? Because yeah, what is RAG is there. What is RAG? Retrieval. Okay, now LLM is in action. Okay, so here you can see this is the answer. And one more important thing here, you can see S1. S1 means this is coming from source 1. This is response is coming. This is citation basically. Okay, so this is coming from source 1. So this is source 1, 0.11. Now, if I want it to answer how are iPhones made, one option I have is, it is now saying I don't know, right? One option I have is I can supply my own data, my own knowledge here. iPhones are made using latest technology in Apple used since 2025. Just a knowledge I'm supplying. I will uncheck this use sample corpus. I will say paste your own corpus. So I will build index with this corpus. Build index for one chunk. And now I will ask how are iPhones made. Now let's see what happens. See, retrieval score is 0.26. It is still saying I don't know why. But source is this. It should basically say this thing actually. But here it should not say, maybe something to do with prompts. I expect it to give this answer. Yeah, it is giving this answer. So maybe first time some cache or something was happening. But again, I pressed search and answer, right? It is giving me that answer. Okay, so this is how my app is working. Now let's go to the code. So in the code, what are the things that is happening? Now you understood the theory, you understood what is happening. So let's see the code. It will be easy to understand. First of all, chunking for basically RAG. From RAG.retriever, load indices and hybrid search I'm doing. Load graph because I want to play around with graph rag. So you can see rag.graph rag. Rag.crag, retrieval confidence corrective action. So these are the things that I explained you in theory. From generator, generate answer, simple answer. And from OpenAI, we are taking this. I am just loading my key, OpenAI key. This is heading. This is my knowledge base. These are some of the beautification. Okay. Build index. If you remember, I was giving my own index or using the built indexes. This is that. This is about asking question. And then select box, simple or OpenAI. And based on this response, right, it will, based on the mode, right, it will go and fire that particular thing. Okay. So now search and answer, it will, if you see here, TF, IDF and BM25 are the indices that I'm using, and you will find that inside this one, BM25.py. Okay. So what it will do, it will simply take Python BM25, basically, it will simply take and it will basically a matching algorithm here. That is what it is doing. And the other one also, TF-IDF, you know the concept by TF-IDF, right? So what will hybrid search do? It will take your query, it will give you the score and it will give you the confidence. See, remember, we were looking at confidence here. That confidence comes from retrieval confidence scored here. Retrieval confidence comes from where? Here, CRAG. Okay. So you will have a number, you will have a confidence number. Once you have the number, right, pick entity from query will come, which means the nearest entity. And then it will give you the context from the graph context. Where from graph context is coming? From rag graph RG. So if you want to see the graph, right, I want to show you graph as well. So there is this inspect graph that I have written. And when I ran that, then graph is created using my 3 documents. The 3 documents that I gave, right? If you see here, so it will build graphs using those 3 documents that I gave. It's a very simple graph. So save graph and load graph function is there. Build graph using those chunks, whichever we gave from our input knowledge source basically. And then this is extracting entities. So it's a very simple graph, not using any packages or anything. But for demonstration purpose, let me show you how the graph will look like. Python inspect graph rag.py. So let me show you how entities and relationships are loaded. So you see there is one in our current thing, right? There is iPhones and there is this chunk. So this is very small one. I mean, there is only one line, right? There is only one chunk. So this is related to this in chunk 0. There is this iPhone. But if I go back to my previous one and rebuild that, right? Let me try to launch this app and rebuild it actually. Let me try to launch this app and rebuild the default corpus once. So use sample corpus, okay, and build index. So build index for 3 chunks. Now let me stop it and let me try to see how the graph rag has changed. So as you can see here, right, this is chunk 0, this is chunk 1, and this is chunk 2. So in chunk 0, if you remember, we were talking about rag, this rag, retrieval augment, generation, this. In chunk 1, we were talking about agentic, they, and in chunk 2, we were talking about compact NPUs. So these are kind of entities that are related to different entities. And this is how the graph rag looks like. This is a simple graph rag, but it could be more complicated, more nodes, more entities, more relationships. Okay, but key entities and the related to the chunk. This is how your graph rag is. And then this will create your graph rag, and from that graph rag, right? So if you go to app.py, from that graph rag, it will take the context. It will give you the retrieval context. If confidence less than 0.25, if act in corrective action, then it will write, okay, here are my corrective action. And correct, if you ask me where is the corrective action code, so corrective action is basically, we have put it in the form of placeholders now. So from rag.crag corrective actions, and if I have to show you rag.crag, this is the corrective action, okay? So type is equal to decompose, the first one, type is equal to hide, this one, and type is equal to expand score, this one. So basically, you will see that in the front end, right? Okay, I think I closed the app from here. Let me try to relaunch the app. So relaunch the app, build index, search and answer. So decompose, why does rag improve accuracy? So if you come here, right, type decompose subs up to 3. So this is what it is doing. Hide is draft a 3-sentence query, and this is not set properly here. So it is not working as expected, right? And here it is simply printing this hint, include glossary, longer chunks, etc. But this need to be set up properly to work this. If you want me to do that, I can do that. Just you can drop a comment, and we can take this and implement hide, implement decompose, implement expand score, etc. Right? So this is a placeholder, as I told you, and this is a retrieval confidence. And if you go back to the app.py, right? So that is how the response will come from corrective action if your crag is active, and then simple template will give simple answer. Otherwise, it will go to OpenGPT, and you're going to get a response. So graph rag in action, where? Here. Corrective rag in action, where? Here. And citation in action. Citation, another important thing. So it should tell that where from it has got the information, right? And for that, in the generator, in your, let me show you my prompt. See, instruction, ground your answer strictly in the context. Add short inline citation like S1, S2. Be concise but complete. Okay. See here in my system prompt, right? Generator OpenAI. You are a careful assistant. Answer only using provided context. Cite sources S1, S2 matching the order of context. If the answer is not in the context, say you don't know. That is where you were seeing I don't know. Okay, so that is how this is working. So from my rag module, the crag.py is coming, generator OpenAI is coming, generator is also coming, graph rag and retriever is also coming. You can take a look at this code. Nothing is big, everything is very, very small, but it's basically a flow of graph rag and your retriever and your score checking and corrective action and your citation. That's the whole flow. So I recommend you go to app.py and see what all I'm importing from rag. Go to all these scripts one by one, check what is happening in which, and it should be very easy for you to understand. Concept wise, just understand everything. And if you want to know how agents do these things on their own. So suppose I'm giving a lot of instructions here, right? Do this, do that. You are a careful assistant. Ground your answer, this, that, right? All these things agent can do on its own. If you want to learn more about agents, right? Check out my Udemy course on Agentic AI for beginner. You will find the link in the description of this video, guys. You must check out that course that is on discount now. That is on Udemy. You will find the link in description. Okay. And I will upload this. I will upload this in the GitHub. Take it from there and understand what is inside RAG, understand how the flow is, and then launch your app. You can change the basically docs here, give some new docs and see how it is behaving. And I will emphasize one more time, to get basics of RAG, don't miss these two videos. See you all in the next video, guys. Wherever you are, stay safe and take care.